Underdog Podcast. It's your host T. Lee and my co-host Jack Cowden will be live today as usual.
Was pulling up, they acting like they couldn't see me. Now she wanna clean me up like a squeegee. I told her that's on me, baby, like yellow BZ. With the peanut butter tear like a Reese.
Keep on persevere through all the obstacles. Get it done. That's an underdog.
They don't forget the underdog when they see me. I hit them with the John Cena, they can't see me.
You may overlook this person, but the underdog is the one who's gonna put in the work.
It's over, you know? Because you have to lose to win. Whether you think losing is a big event.
Out of mind. All I'm saying, just be careful who you idolize. I'm kicking these scriptures just before the fame. Ain't no cap in my words, I go against the grain.
So I always believed in life. I took so many risks to make this thing happen, you know what I mean?
I'm always working, bro. Like I said, I'm energy driven.
Underdog can put you on your ass. The underdog can put you on game. The underdog can show you something that you didn't know.
Can't go down. All you can do is go up. So are you gonna stay where you at, or are you gonna move up?
We're the bangers. For the bangers.
He said he's nervous. This is his first time doing it.
Cut her ass off if she get that, I can reread.
Yo, what it do, good people? Welcome to the Underdogs Podcast. We're back again. Season 6, episode 12. The role of nutrition and mental health, featuring founder of Boundless Prosperity, LLC. We have Isabella Osborne. We're going to go in and bring it in the right way, guys. 1 second.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on.
How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. You know, another day, a day to guess, prepare for the next week. You know, I should say Sunday is like a recharge for me. You know, it's kind of just, how I'm going to make my best move into the upcoming week. Not try to, really dread what happened last week or anything. Just try to move forward in a sense.
Yeah, that's the right way to be.
So like I say, welcome to the podcast, guys. It's an honor to have you on the show today. First and foremost, as we push the importance of knowing ourselves, how would those closest to you describe you as a person outside of your profession?
I would definitely say those closest to me would describe me as authentic, loving, caring, just very a positive light. Even when things are not always perfect in life, I would definitely say those that are closest to me would think of me as a positive force that they can go to be poured into.
No, definitely. And like people that would be closest to you, that's an important, piece to the puzzle to have someone around like that, I feel like your circle of people is very important of who you, allow, because it's like the type of energy that's poured into you, especially if you're dealing with something, you should always have an outlet to be able to go to in a sense. So we're gonna touch on the foundation in the background. So before we get into that too, how has this year been treating you thus far? How has it been, 2024 as we're getting to the end?
I'll definitely say 2024 has been, I think, the year for me to plant a lot of seeds. It's been going phenomenal. I've seen a lot of growth within myself, physically, mentally, and emotionally. So I think this is the year of, I guess, planning for me. And then I believe I'll be reaping a harvest soon from all the planning that I've done this year. So it's been a great year.
That's good. So what's helping you prepare for next year? Any lessons you learned that's helping you get ready for next year? Because I'm not one of the ones that, like, when January 1st hit, like I should already been kind of walking myself into it already.
I'll definitely say you said what is preparing me for next year, or
Yeah.
what has
Yeah. What is something
definitely.
you learned?
Yeah, I would say the biggest takeaway that I believe that'll make me better in 2025 is that I have had to practice a lot of patience, which I've struggled with patience my entire life. So I think working on my patience this year is going to help me going into 2025 because it's something that I'll be stronger in, which is always a big benefit.
So it's like the feeling of like kind of like when I wanted to happen, like, like, all right, it needs to happen at this moment. Like, I've been working on this, like this date or whatever. Like, I feel as a human by default, we kind of all get that in a sense, but I feel like, you know, in the timing of patience is like, all right, while I'm being patient in this timeline, it's something I can be focusing on while, you know, getting prepared for when it do happen. You know, that's how I kind of
Exactly.
look at it now. It's like, all right, let me use this downtime to, you know, either focus on another, you know, object or goal to accomplish, you know, while I'm waiting on this moment, you know. So far as the foundation in the background, can you share a bit of your upbringing, where you're from?
Yes, so I'm actually, I was born in San Bernardino, California, but grew up in the Inland Empire. So maybe not most people recognize it as Riverside area. So I was born into a wonderful family, a strong Black man and a very wise, just amazing Black woman. Grew up with myself and my older sibling. So we're SoCal girls by heart. But I had a very, very great upbringing. I had both parents in our household until I was a teenager, around 16 when they got divorced, but still have great support from both of my parents and my sister.
That's what's up. So, how do you think your hometown has shaped your perspective on health and wellness?
I would say that's a good one because I would definitely say that it has shaped my overall view of health and wellness because California is a very I don't it can be known as a superficial state. So I think growing up, I got wrapped into the aesthetics of it all, and how I was supposed to look, how I was supposed to, how much I was supposed to wear, how I was supposed to look. So I noticed that because of that, I had an unhealthy view of mental and physical health altogether. And so I want to say that that helped me, just those negative experiences helped me open up my eyes to see exactly what true health is mentally, physically, and emotionally.
Definitely. So, what unique aspects of your city stand out to you amongst other cities? Like, what makes your city special?
I would definitely say the diversity. That's one thing that I enjoyed about living there. And then especially because I'm the daughter of a military member. So we were thankful that my mom didn't get stationed too many places. We stayed in California the whole time. But I would definitely say that it comes from just, I guess, just knowing who you are. It shaped me to kind of get a better understanding of that based on the diversity that we were around.
Yeah, I feel diversity is very important, though. You know, rather than just when a person tends to be just around like a specific group, their
Hmm.
values and perspective kind of just close off, you know. Then it's like when you step out of your environment, you know, and get in a different element of things, it's like, okay, like you get your perspective shapes different from what you're
Yeah,
used to.
exactly.
And it gives you a whole new learning experience of people, you know. Um, so reflecting on your childhood, what are some of your earliest memories related, you know, to your profession today that you can recall?
Yes. So my dad is a pastor, and we were under that, growing up to serve, put God first, which I still do to this day. But I definitely think that even though we weren't realizing it, pastors also encourage people, using Bible scriptures, of course, but to focus on their mental health. There are many Bible scriptures that talk about not worrying and us taking great care of ourselves. So I definitely think being in the church and hearing how we're supposed to take care of ourselves is the way that God sees us, how he created us to be. And that's, I believe, would be to be in optimum mental, physical, and emotional health. So definitely took a lot of that from the church as far as my view of mental health.
Nah, I could feel that. So, were there specific experiences in your community that highlighted the importance of mental health for you?
I would say just at that time, we had a lot of, it's not as known and talked about now, but we had quite a few suicides during that time when I was growing up, from children that I went to school with and a lot that I knew within the community. So I think being aware of that helped me to realize, wow, there's got to be some change that needs to be made, even at that young age. Of course, suicide is more talked about now than it was when I was younger. But I definitely think that turned on a light bulb for me to say, okay, seeing this in my community, I definitely want to do something about this, do my part in preventing this.
Yeah, I felt exactly what you said because like growing up, certain things on mental health and stuff like that, it wasn't as broadcasted.
Hmm.
I think technology kind of helped that in the sense too to bring awareness. So like I always say, it's a red and blue pill, but in the sense like that is needed. People need to
Exactly.
see it. Uh, so when we touch on your personal journey, when did you realize the significance of mental health in your life?
I definitely realized it. I'm a prior Air Force member, and I'm not dating myself. I don't know how old you. I'm sure you're really young, so
Yeah,
I'm kind of getting
I'm
up there.
32.
But I enlisted in the Air Force in 2009. In 2009, I enlisted into the Air Force, and I served a total of 11 years. So I definitely think that that's when the light bulb came on to me about mental health, because once again, back then it wasn't really talked about. And I had my own issues within the military that were not the best. And I think it kind of, based on those experiences, I started building anxiety, PTSD, and all things like that. So when I experienced it myself, then and saw other people that I was with serving with experience it. That's when I knew that I needed, it was something that I had to give, that I wanted to be a part of the solution. And so that's why I chose the field of mental health.
That's major. When you just said
Hmm.
you wanted to be a part of the solution, it was like your calling in a sense. Uh
Yes.
so what inspired you to pursue a master's of science in clinical mental health counseling?
Yes. So when I was active duty, I finished my bachelor's in psychology. It's kind of hard when you're active duty and going to college at the same time. It can't be done. I did it. But I knew that I was not going to retire. And once I got out, I wanted to be a counselor. So as soon as I got out of active duty military, then I pursued my master's, because ultimately I wanted to open up my own private practice. First, I wanted to be a forensic psychologist. And then I kind of was like, well, I'm good with people. So I definitely want to pursue counseling so that I can make that difference with not only service members but the entire planet, because we're all dealing with something. So that's what made me want to pursue that.
Nah, that's a fact. Like I was saying, we all connected. So it's like we all just go through different situations, but it all kind of be parallel in a sense, it's just a different walk to it. So that's why I feel like certain things bring people together, like I say, for instance, in the community, like on a positive perspective, the barbershop is a mutual grounding for everybody to
Hmm.
have a positive experience. I always, kind of realized that when I was younger, when we go to the barbershop, that's like a safe place where conversation can be had amongst men. And it's kind of got a little bit away from what it used to be, as
Hmm.
I'm seeing now. But yeah, that's when I can recall. Uh, can you describe the moment you decided to become a certified personal trainer?
Yes. So actually, in the Air Force, I'll say when I first started out, I didn't really work out. I was very young. So we have PT tests that are required. The requirements are completely different now, but you have to run, do push-ups and sit-ups, time. So I kind of started working on my fitness and got really good with it. I didn't see myself as a personal trainer at that time, but I helped so many other service members get ready for their fitness test. So I want to say maybe about, because I was already doing it, but I wasn't certified. So then I was like, you know what? I would love to help people just have my certification, work at a gym, or just do one-on-one on my own. And so I actually started working at Crunch Fitness. And that's when I was like, yeah, once I got my certification, I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, because a lot of therapists only focus on mental, but I was like, to be able to add mental and physical together and emotional, like that's the perfect package. So I thought by combining those, together for my business, like that would just be so good for people.
Nah, most definitely. Like it's like a well-rounded thing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, yeah, this is needed. It goes hand in hand. Like it's not like, well, I mean, certain things is different type of therapies though. When you say mental, you know, but it's not like, you know, you're saying like, all right, I want to be, you know, focused on the mental, and then something else that's completely different and it don't mesh together. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like you can't really force that. Um, so how did your earliest experiences influence your desire to help others with their mental health struggles?
Definitely with me dealing with anxiety, which I still do, crazy at the time when I was first, when it first hit me, like, wow. I definitely think being a person that deals with anxiety, which is a lot of people do, has helped me be more empathetic and understand how it feels personally, because it's kind of hard to, you can still help someone, but if you've been through it yourself, you kind of understand it a little bit better. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely going through that struggle myself has helped me want to in turn help others that are dealing with that, and even more.
Nah, most definitely. Like you said, if somebody can, you know, been through it, they can easily connect to it, you know, even if it's just like somebody they don't know. It's like, hey, you know, I know the feeling of, you know, either breaking a bone or being in the car, like the feelings and everything that
Hmm.
come along with it, you know. So what does overall well being mean to you, and why is it vital for everyone?
So overall well-being is, no, I keep saying, but in my opinion, is mental, physical, and emotional. So obviously, we have to be mentally well to make decisions, the correct decisions in our lives, to make sound decisions, to be there for others. Physically, you have to be well, because if you're not able to move around and you're not healthy, that, I mean, you can't accomplish as much, and then that's going to hurt your mental. So those mental and physical have to both be on key. And then emotional, which is how, like you had said earlier, about how we handle situations, when to say something, when not to,
Mm-hmm.
based on being able to control our emotions. So that's overall well-being to me. And you had a second part to that question.
Yeah, like why do you, well, you feel like it's vital for everyone, like you say they all kind of bad. It's like basically, you know, putting something on a seesaw. It has to like be
Hmm.
in the middle, because if you got the mental is foggy, it's down here, and the physical is up, the middle could have somebody walking in the middle of traffic and not even realizing like
Hmm.
it's traffic hour, you know, because they mentally, you know, they cloudy. So yeah, I feel that. Um, so let's talk about the entrepreneur journey. Like, what motivated you to start the, you know, the LLC? Like, how long you've been, you know, into your business?
Well, honestly, I never thought I was gonna be start a business. My husband is the one. 2 years ago, he set me down on at our table and was like, "You really need to do this." Honestly, I'm not a social media person. I think that was my biggest thing, because I don't. First of all, I'm private, really private. And second of all, I'm not a social media person. And I knew I was going to have to step outside of my comfort zone and post. I was like, oh my God, no, I don't want to do it. But
Yeah.
if he wouldn't have sat me down, I wouldn't have even started it. It was just the inspiration from him and his belief in me that I can make a difference and I can do it. So that's definitely what prompted me. And I've been in business for, well, actively 2 years, but well, I'll say I had it 2 years, but I've actively been working on everything for like only about a year now. It's been
Yeah.
about a year.
Nah, that's major, because I feel like you might have liked to take the approach where like you're in person and you actually able to, you know, deal with someone hands on. So it's like the social media is like, okay, it's like a red, like I said, it's a red and blue pill with it, but at the same
Hmm.
time, it's very beneficial. It's just how everybody uses it.
Yes, exactly.
So I'm like, with me, it's like, okay, I come from an era where like, you know, I was born in '91, so it's like
Hmm.
growing up and stuff. It's like I remember when the internet was what it was and dial up, and now it's like being able to reach being able to reach people, you know, in a sense, like, okay, how I'm really, you know, elevate with this. Then it's like what you're doing and stuff like that. It's like, okay, people podcast is a whole different way of a thing. So even from the music and stuff and all that, it's like, okay, street promo. I remember going out, passing out flyers,
Mm-hmm.
actually talking to people. Like I'm still favorable of that over just being on this full time. But it's just knowing how to, knowing how to. I guess we just got an upper hand with it because we can use both.
Exactly. And I'm about 3 years older than you. So yeah, we know how it was. It's just you gotta do it though. It's just that's the way of
Yeah.
the world now.
Then you just get better at it. It's like once you
Mm-hmm.
start blending your personality and everything with it, just becomes like a reflex in a sense. Just
Exactly.
like you say, getting over because I wasn't a person that just be. I'm a people person, but I can have my
Mm-hmm.
introvert moments too. So this is like, I wouldn't see myself doing it years ago, but it's like doing music and actually being out there, in front of people and stuff. I guess that kind of prepared me to just be like, okay, I'm gonna take over the world with this. We gonna hit
Mm-hmm.
everybody, So it makes it so easier to do that, the confidence. Uh, so on your journey as an entrepreneur, like you obviously you mentioned, just getting used to social media, but any other challenges you faced in the beginning when you started?
Ooh, the biggest challenge, and I'm very authentic. The only challenge was really just inappropriate comments from men, women, mainly men. Which once again, I'm a private person, and I know putting myself out there and showing myself that what I'm doing, it's liable to happen. So the only challenge is just being able to maneuver through those inappropriate comments. I've wanted to collab with people that it was gonna be hopeful, but they were perverted. Just that really does something to me. I'm still trying to get over. I don't think I'll ever get over that
Yeah,
because I have a certain view of how I think people should conduct themselves, but they're not gonna do it. So I guess that was my biggest challenge is just the perversion of what social media opens you up to. Some of it can be very perverted.
yeah,
So if you're putting yourself out there on a platform, you are opening yourself up to that as a woman, attractive woman. I would say that's the biggest hurdle I face. Everything else has been wonderful.
yeah. I feel like the internet is a weird place too. In a sense, like it is, because you'll see people that have bot pages and all type of
Hmm.
stuff. Like I remember in the early stages, we had a bot like really going at it with us, but it was like we didn't take it as a negative thing. We took it as a positive. Like, okay, you really paying attention to it. You taking your time out your
Yeah.
bank account and just you know. But I feel like in general too, like women always kind of had that, going on because even in the physical, outside the internet and stuff like that, like you got people that just it's just a weird, spectrum where it's like people like you say don't know how to really conduct themselves like that. And yeah, I think that's big because when you talk about the music industry and stuff too, just women in a male dominated industry with them stuff, women still go through stuff, as well.
Hmm.
Like I've had numerous episodes where women to give advice where they just tell them you gotta stand for something and know that this is what you want to sign up for.
Hmm.
Um. So far, like, what are the milestones you're most proud of so far?
I would say the milestone I'm most proud of is so I believe in manifestation. So I did have a goal of wanting to reach a certain amount of YouTube followers. I think it was like 10,000. So I'm almost halfway there. And so that's a big milestone for me because I've always thought YouTube was the most difficult social media or whatever it's considered to even get a hold of. So I felt like that was a big milestone. I was like, I see progress. First it was 1,000. And I'm like, if I could just get 1,000, but now it's growing and it's working for my favor. So I think that's the biggest accomplishment. That and TikTok, I'm doing pretty decent on that. I think I have 5,000. So, but definitely YouTube meeting that milestone.
Yeah, nah, YouTube definitely is it. And on TikTok too, like
Hmm.
I kind of started pouring more into TikTok now too. And like I'm like, okay. It really was just me figuring out how like we got like over 100 episodes and like really was thinking like, man, we keep dropping these episodes, but I'm not like, I need to pull the content out of it, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
it's time consuming when it's like, okay, I had to really like learn how to clip everything. And so I found a tool that kind of makes it more easier. So now I've got
Good.
my platform just, you know, it drops it real like professionally and it does everything for me. So I was like, okay, now let me go back to season one and start dropping these gems. Like
Hey, it's
people
a
like,
learning. It's
yeah, like
yeah.
cause I'm like, who really gonna like? A lot of people not gonna sit and watch the whole thing. So let me give them a glimpse of what they can get from it, so they go check out that. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, so how is your approach to health and wellness evolved since starting your business? You know, like just getting into the business side of it.
It's evolved because now, so I started off as a counselor. Obviously, I had the personal training certificate. So now it's evolved because now I'm to the point where I would like to start. My friend and I actually, she is a personal trainer as well. We're actually holding an event February of next year about health and wellness. And so I never saw myself holding events so quickly at this time. It's kind of a little bit scary, of course, but I see the growth in what I'm adding to my clients. It's not just okay, my videos, I do one-on-one personal training, I do one-on-one counseling and things such as that.
I say we got Boundless Prosperity 365.com. We got the About Me, so you can read about Isabella Osborne. We got the consulting services. She has training programs, guidance, and have holistic approach. She got her details as well, and just to reach her and get in touch.
Yes. And I also have a blog. I normally try to post a couple times a week in line with my content that I post on social media because every week I normally drop something different. So I kind of try to write a blog post to coincide with that. But thank you for pulling up my website. And that's another big thing. I didn't have a website for a while. So it's just about making progress.
Nah, definitely. You know, as you keep growing, it's like a lot of things gonna grow, and I'm learning that too. Like just being more like prepared and how be detailed with letting guests know what's going on and stuff like that and how I'm
Hmm.
approached. So if I need to adjust anything, my questions, just so I make sure I'm on point. Uh, can you share a few types of content that resonate most with your followers?
I would say definitely when I talk about the relationships with other people. So most of my content on YouTube is about relationships. I would say that resonates the most with my followers. How to maneuver in relationships, how to know when they're not healthy, how to know to get rid of when to get rid of toxic people, which I'm a pro at. Just I don't say anything on there that I'm not doing myself because I'm not a hypocrite. So
Yeah.
I want to definitely say the relationships resonate the best, and then the how as far as recognizing people that are not healthy for you. My workouts do pretty well, but I still don't really have that many workout videos. I'm more one on one for that, but I can do that as well. So definitely the content about relationships I think hits the hardest for most people.
Yeah, I like how you said, like you good at just, dealing with removing toxic people. Like I I'm like I feel like my co-host, I go Casper real quick on somebody. Like I just like I don't be like just I'm not going back and forth. I just realize how far like everybody has a role to play in your timeline because it's like when it comes to you, when they say, okay, the world doesn't revolve around you and all that, like in your world, it literally does. So it's
Yeah.
like if you're not feeding into my world, because even when it comes to friends, family, and all that, they just really background people in your story.
Hmm.
So it's just like either you're gonna play the lead role, you're gonna play extra, or you're just gonna get removed all around. It really don't make no difference to me because I'm running the show. So it do hurt when you got it, but it's just you gotta just understand what's good for you.
Exactly.
Um, so how do you engage your audience to implement positive lifestyle changes, through the social media and content?
Definitely engage them through. I always post motivational, and I know some people may say that's boring,
Mm-hmm.
but that's all I know how to offer. Definitely the videos that the little short videos that I make, I put encouraging things on my stories, encouraging motivational quotes, things like that, just to keep my audience in a great mindset. Very realistic. Nothing is perfect in life, but if we shift our focus, our life can definitely improve. So I post a lot of motivational content through my stories, and then nothing but motivational videos as well.
Yeah, nah, I feel that because it's really like what you feed, whatever you feed yourself with, like whatever you consuming a lot of like just toxic things, and not like it's gonna come a part of you in a sense. So like if
Exactly.
I'm sitting here watching fight videos all day, or I'm sitting here watching people argue with each other, like I'm not even with the reality. Like I don't. To each his own, but I'm not one of the ones that watch the hip hop and all that love, like that stuff. I know it's programmed for one.
Yes,
So it's like it's targeting the ones that like if they into this, it's controlling them. Like I just stay away from all that stuff. Like
I do too. I don't. Now I do get made fun of because I do watch the murder mystery.
yeah,
But the only reason why I do that is because I like to see the killer get caught. Like I
yeah.
get teased for that.
But you really just watching now. That's reality though. You really watching you
Yeah.
watching a person's mind because like they can be real normal and then it's that one transition that just it be yeah. That's a different type of thing though. That's really the study of the mind though. Really mental
Yeah, and
health
that's what I
stuff,
love. I
stuff,
love understanding why people do what they do and
motives.
what made them snap like that's like, wow, I just love that.
Yeah. So, what feedback have you received from clients that reassures you're making an impact, like you're on the right journey?
I received so much feedback that how much that I'm appreciated, how much you reached out to me. So that means that I'm making a difference. It doesn't matter how many people see it. Somebody saw it, and I resonated with them. So I get a lot of great feedback outside of the weird messages, of how beneficial that my message has helped them, how much they've used it, how beneficial it's been, how they've shared it with their family members, things like that. That's how I know I'm on the right path, because we all have different definitions of success. Mine was just to be able to reach one person. So in my mind, I've done that and then some. So I am successful because of that.
Nah, that's facts. And like I say, it stood out, to us with our platform because like the type of stuff we post, like it's hip hop based, but more so like in tune with reality too as well. So it's like you'll see the personality that we like to post. We like to post a lot of funny stuff. I'm not gonna lie, like we like to laugh. Like that's a part of it. And then like you say with the mental health motivational thing, like that's the type of content we feed out. And then with the music too, like just I'm infatuated with all everything, like the old music, zap, all like everything.
Yeah.
We might post all that stuff too in the store, or whatever. Then along with just supporting, the underdog family. So we support anything that if they even took the time out to get on the platform, we always sharing and posting because it's the algorithm. So
Hmm.
if you got somebody sharing something like if they in Virginia or they in Florida or whatever and stuff like that, and you're in a whole different state, that helps they algorithm,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So that's what we be on. But so can you share a success story from a client that particularly touched you?
Yes. I actually had a client that they were on the verge of, because prior to doing my under my business, I used to work with those that were on probation or parole, and a part of their terms were to complete so many counseling. So I had one client, actually, I think he got charges for theft or something like that. And it was all because he was trying to bring home food to the family.
Mm,
And so unfortunately, he had to do time and also the classes, but I changed his life. He came in for that one thing, but then had a lot of issues within his marriage with his wife. So, based on my advice, he took with his wife, his marriage improved, his relationship with his son improved, and I'll never forget how much he thanked me. And the culture he's from, normally, that they don't talk with other people, and definitely not a woman for advice like that. But because he was kind of forced into the situation, but then
Mm-hmm.
took what he thought he needed from it, that's probably the best story that I've had. That his marriage was able to improve himself altogether, and then the relationship with his child.
That's what's up. That's a big impact right there. Like
Hmm.
you literally helped change someone's timeline. It's like
Yes, exactly.
they could have been riding, like literally riding a bike on the top of a mountain, and it's like the road's thinning so much to where they have to
Hmm.
literally keep their balance, or they're gonna fall off. So it's like you really just help them get back on the road. So let's talk about the practical advice. What are two positive habits for mental health that you recommend for daily practice for people?
Definitely some kind of meditation. And that can include guided meditation from apps. Calm is a good one, Insight is a good one, or your own. Also could look like prayer, whatever your definition of that is. And definitely getting outside somehow during the day, and just that's the biggest one. You don't have to. I Of course I'll say I will hope that most people will exercise, but it could be something as small as just going outside if the weather is nice. Keeping gratitude, just saying a few things that you're grateful for. Those are some things that you can do every day. So if you're, say, those that deal with depression or unhappiness, if you start reciting things that you're grateful for, that will shift your mindset. Like, I may not like this, but at least I have a roof over my head and food to eat. So definitely daily, get maybe say two, three things that you're grateful for. Take some deep breaths, go out in nature if you can, and then meditate. But the most important thing, express gratitude, and meditation, I would say, are the most important things that you can do daily to keep your mental health together.
Nah, facts. I feel like, yeah, I felt that because it's like a brain exercise in a sense,
Hmm.
especially if you're one of the ones that like constantly like always thinking of something and on go. Like you need that time to just, like I say, woosah, like just chill for a second and then, get back into it. Uh,
Definitely.
so what are two physical health habits people can easily incorporate into their routine?
Two physical health habits, definitely stretching. Um, as long as you're not injured, of course. I do daily stretching, and it doesn't have to look like yoga or anything. Or you can just Google daily stretches to do during the day, just to keep your blood flow moving, and helping you feel good. Definitely that. And if you can, take a walk, do some kind of physical exercise. It doesn't have to be long and drawn out, but make sure you can do your daily stretches that can be done right in your home, and some kind of physical activity. Right now, because of how accessible the internet is to us, we can look things up on YouTube, and you don't necessarily have to go to the gym for. So definitely those two things I think are very important.
No, most definitely. Um, so what role does community support play in the individual's health journey? Like far as the importance of people surrounding themselves with like-minded individuals.
Hmm. Definitely community support. So right now, even in my own community, so I live in Warner Robins. We're like 2 hours from
Oh,
Atlanta.
yeah, Atlanta.
So you're familiar?
Yeah, yeah. We based out of Atlanta, but home is out in
Oh, okay.
Orlando. So yeah.
Yeah, so we're not too far from Atlanta. So definitely I see within my community is a lot of just opening more resources for people, to let them know, like, I just came from a mental health, Black mental health expo, where within the Macon community, just letting the community know what's available to them. So if you're having a mental health crisis, dial 988 will get you to the right sources. There's all kind of sources within the community that are available now. And then you said, as far, I'm sorry, what was your second part of the question?
As far as people like keeping the right people in their surroundings, just how in the sense, like, how we were saying, like you're around, it don't even have to be television. You could have somebody that's close to you that's that one feeding you that, you know, and necessarily not good for you, you know.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely recognizing. So if there's somebody that has entered your life that is something is not right, you normally recognize it right away. So the sooner that you can eject these people out of your life, the better. I'm not saying nobody is perfect. Nobody's perfect. I'm not saying over simple mistakes, but certain things people do or say let you know what kind of person they are. If they're making sarcastic comments about one of your beliefs, that's probably not the right person for you to be around. So I'm very, very protective over my who I spend time with, almost to the point where it's gotten to where it's like two or three people, because and that was my enemy, my family, like, because I just have a zero tolerance for negativity on the outside to get in. Especially when that person is, that's their whole goal, is to impart that, like they have no, is, I have a zero tolerance with that. I think the better we can become with that, the better our lives will become.
Yeah, I feel like those type of people would be like, you know, if they even like just, you know, come in, it's like that negative energy when they walk by something,
Hmm.
it's like they literally just, you know, it can be a tree that's full of life, and when they just get past it, that tree just dies. It's
Hmm.
like everything they touch turn to like rotten fruit or something, you know.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. It's very important to even, and sometimes it is family members, unfortunately, but we have to learn how to use our discernment, and God will show us who needs to go and who needs to be given another chance. It's
yeah,
always revealed.
yeah, this accessibility is key. And I
Hmm.
just don't, me personally, I don't like putting no problems I have on somebody else, because it's like
Exactly.
that's something they ain't dealing with. So it's like they not gonna be able to necessarily, I gotta make that change. So it's like,
Yeah,
you
so
know, it
true.
seems to me just when I, you know, get around somebody, I'm like, man, you know, it's cool if, like you say, to have an outlet to where, you know, okay, I'm gonna get this type of advice, but I don't need to just put that on them, and now that's something they gotta sit there and think about.
Hmm. Hmm.
So how do you approach goal setting with your clients?
So I approach goal setting with my clients by first identifying exactly what goals they have, which ones are short term and which ones are long term. So of course we always look at the short term ones, make sure they're realistic, attainable. Like I'm sure you've heard of SMART goals before. Um, does it make sense? Is it something that you can actually attain? Like I'm not, one of my goals is not to be an astronaut because I don't even qualify at this moment. So it has to be goals that are make sense. And then we break them down from there. So for instance, say if their goal was um, hmm, they want to improve their relationship with their husband. Okay, so what I would ask them, what does improvement look like to you? Does that mean that you won't have as many arguments? Does that mean that you guys spend more one on time together? So we look at the goal, I break them into short term and long term, and then we literally break that goal down. What does it look like to you? Because it's the same thing. Some people say their goal is to want to be healthy. Okay, do you mean, okay, is it how many pounds you want to lose? So how many pounds do you want to lose? Okay, so if you want to lose 50 pounds, let's focus on that goal. And then from there, do you think losing 50 pounds will determine you to be healthy, or is it your eating habits? So literally we break down short term, long term goals, and then from there break them down to where you can actually see them, they're attainable. That's how I kind of run my life with my goals as well. I need to actually be able to see it, like, literally.
Yeah, that sounds like the book I'm kind of listening to. I own the book, but I just listen to the audio too when I'm on the go. It sounds like Atomic Habits.
Yes, and that's one of the books that I'm actually reading too.
Yeah, so like Atomic Habits is like small steps, you know. It's like
Hmm.
being real, like you see, being realistic. So it's like if you, like you say, you want to work out or something, you just do 10 minutes or just push
Hmm.
that one small thing is change your whole mind perspective of, you know, instead of like, okay, I'm gonna drop and do 100 push-ups, like you,
Yeah.
like everybody's want to go real big on something when it's not even that. Like it's really just a small compound. Like
And that's what I have to even remind myself. Like sometimes I'm wanting to jump from A to Z, and it's like, come on now, you got to do. It
yeah,
takes time. You can't go from one. I mean, like even with our businesses, most people don't start seeing success until about 5 years. And that's where I said earlier about working on my patience because me, I mean, I've had to have many pep talks like, I'm not doing good. It's been a year. And I've had to be pulled to the side many times. I'm like, come on now. It's only been a year. Like, literally, it's about breaking those goals down to where they're attainable. You can get the bit to here, but there's steps in between.
yeah. I think like I was saying earlier about money, it's like keep pouring into it. Like even though
Hmm.
like I think the book says it says focus on like the process and the progress, right? The process of what's going on, like how often you're being repetitious than just the progress.
Hmm.
If you focus on the progress, you gonna just sit here and make you sit there and think like, is this really worth it? Or this is not happening yet. But it's like when you get more into what you're doing and stuff like that, like I said, it comes natural where it's like, okay,
Hmm.
like I know something's coming from this, but I gotta
It
keep
has
doing
to.
what I'm doing.
It has to. And I remember one lady told me she's a millionaire, and I said, "What advice would you give?" She was like, "You just literally have to outlast the competition." Which means you have to keep sowing over and over and over and over, and it's going to read. It has to. Those are the universal laws.
Hmm. Facts. So, what's your favorite way to unwind after a long day?
My favorite way to unwind is to take a shower, put my little socks on, put my little clothes on, and watch those shows we were talking about. Honestly, I
Yeah,
also have a game on my phone because I'm all about service. So the game, you actually have to feed customers, little food and stuff like that's so relaxing to me. So I know it's boring, but those two things, that's perfect for me to unwind.
nah, that definitely shows in the way, and everything, because everybody has to have some type of out, like you said, a release,
Hmm.
some type of relief. So, do you have a personal quote that inspires you, like something you either done heard like years ago or something that is still in your mind, like it's still there, like always that you refer back to?
It's not really a quote, but it definitely was something that I'll never forget, has been told to me that changed my life. And this was one of my military sergeants in military training because I'm very hard on myself. That's one thing about me. I don't even watch my own videos just because I'm very critical, very, very critical of myself. Like this hair look like this look weird. I don't even watch my own stuff. I just edit it and I put it. I do not like seeing myself on camera. So
Yeah,
I'll never forget if I fail something, I take it really, really hard. And I have failed this quiz, but it wasn't the test that counted. But I failed it. And he was like, you know what, Isabella, like you are your own worst enemy. So that phrase, you are your own worst enemy, changed my life because I'm like, really, it's not the outside world, it's me attacking me. Like I
facts.
literally am my own worst enemy.
Yeah,
So to this day, whenever I'm very critical, which I'll probably always be critical, sometimes we gotta just accept who we are. I'm always gonna be critical on myself. But there's ways that I can look at it like I all I hear is you are your own worst enemy. You stop yourself before you even get to the finish line. So I think that was the most important phrase that will always be in my mind.
yeah. I feel like that's something that we all connected with. Again, I'm gonna keep saying we all connected because I feel like the whole world is one chain. When they show like I don't know if you remember, like growing up, they used to show a world and show people just hold like all connected hand
Hmm.
in hands and stuff. So it's like literally it's like that because similar experiences, like you're gonna feel like that, like some people gonna feel like, like you say, it's getting in the way of yourself with certain things. But like you said, realizing like, okay, it's like you said, it's not the outside world. I can't really put it on nobody else. It's really what I make
Hmm.
out of it. So
Yeah.
if I'm giving myself negative I'm giving myself negative like affirmations out of my mouth to myself. It's gonna
Mm-hmm.
be my reality, like literally. Like, and I feel like me, I already know I'm a winner, so I can't just sit there and tell myself I'm a loser, like, or I ain't got it, you know. Because like I say, I believe in the words is what shapes your perspective.
So true.
You know? It's like a person if they, let's say for instance, when the whole that ain't a good one though. I don't want to get flagged because we start when we start talking how we talk sometimes and really be putting the truth out, they flag and stuff. But I ain't gonna use that. But
Oh
think like Bubble Boy or whatever, in a sense. Bubble Boy, scared to go outside, scared
no.
to just leave the
Hmm.
house and get out the bubble. It's like if I keep looking at the world like that, but I'm really holding myself back because I'm just in fear of in my mind. I'm all in my mind. So it's just like now
Hmm.
that it just holds you back.
It
Uh,
does.
So, what role do you believe passion plays in achieving a healthy lifestyle for people?
Passionate, I believe it's the only vital role because, like you said, and I like how you said healthy lifestyle. So it literally has to be a lifestyle. Passion is what pushes you to do what's best for yourself, even when you don't like it, because you know you're giving into not only yourself but you're pouring into others. So if we're healthy, we're pouring into our family members, we're able to pour into our kids. So having the passion to be able to want to be there for others, I think is what fuels it all. Passion is everything. I have a passion to want to help people, which is why I'm on this platform now. It's our passion. That's what we always have to hold on to. And that having the passion to be healthy, having the passion to just, even if it's not for yourself, but hey, I want to be healthy to be here for my kids or my family or my siblings. That's what drives, passion is what drives you to continue to do that. And I think you always have to look at a bigger picture than just yourself.
Facts. I always tell people look through the windshield. The rear view is so small, like it's a
Hmm.
small window for a reason, and it's like it's not even. You got to pay attention to look forward. You know, you
Yeah.
can't drive looking through the rear view. So yeah, that's how I look at that. So, what is one of the things you wish people understood about the importance of health and wellness?
I wish people understood that it's really how much beneficial it could be their lives could be. Like I know life is hard, and it's hard for people to make commitments. I've even fell short. Like I promised myself I was going to do something and didn't do it. But health and wellness, if more people practice health and wellness, this whole world would be impacted, I think, positively. Because you got to think if you're not taking care of yourself, you definitely are not going to be any good to anybody else, which is where all this hatred and all this comes from. If everybody was completely well and healthy, all three tiers, I think this world would be a better place, definitely. So I think it's just to understand that health and wellness is optimum and we should always be striving to that and trying to get better. Even if we're not going to the gym every day, we should have a routine that we can stick to. Or we need to meditate or do the gratitude journaling, like I was saying earlier. Um, Emotionally sound so that you're not flying off on the handle. Emotional intelligence. I'm still working on this stuff. Like I don't think there's times I just want to say the first thing that comes to my mind. Like I'm literally working on this actively. So I think that's what it's about.
Nah, facts. I feel like everybody's working. You know, like the whole
Hmm.
world is working on themselves. But I think it's really acknowledging it. You know, acknowledging what you need to work on. You know, instead of thinking like like you say, the outside world is the problem and stuff like that. When it's like you got to look internally to yourself. Um, so what are you manifesting for Boundless Prosperity LLC in 2025?
I'm manifesting the ability to be able to speak to more people on not only just one on one, but on a stage where I can start doing I was gonna say manifesting, start doing motivational speaking on a broader. So that's what I'm manifesting, to be able to hit a greater audience than just one on one and maybe just a small social media. I want to be able to travel more and hit more people, and not only just in the United States but all over the world. So that's what I'm manifesting for Boundless for 2025.
Definitely. So, are there any new programs or services you're excited about launching?
Definitely the it's called the Resilience Key Summit in February. So my plan is to start having more speaking engagements, things like that. So that's definitely a big one. And like I said, the one in February, which will be in Atlanta, by the way, it's all about teaching people how much life sucks and how hard it is sometimes, and how to bounce back from those negative things by using resilience. So you'll start seeing more of me do more speaking and more engagements, one on one to an audience. That's what's gonna most likely, based on my manifesting, come to pass.
Oh, that's huge. And I feel like, just the brand itself, because you I always tell people you are the brand. So it's like when it comes to like say boundless prosperity, it's like it starts with you. So it's like what people getting from the brand, they're getting a piece of you in a
Hmm.
sense. So it's like I tell people around it's a lifestyle, basically at
It
that point.
definitely is.
um so how do you plan to continue evolving your business to meet the needs of your clients?
Definitely want to add, if I can reach out to a broader audience, definitely want to add more programs that they can participate in. If they do not are not able to talk to me one on one, definitely more fitness programming. I've had quite a few people ask me for meal plans and nutrition. I'm not at that point yet, but definitely want to open. Once I'm certified in that, want to open up more opportunities like that for sure. um, Maybe one day have an actual office, because right now most of my stuff is done online. Now, right now I'm sitting in my office at home, but maybe eventually having a brick building one day, so I
Yeah,
can really reach clients even more.
for sure. So what trends in health and wellness do you see influencing your work in the near future? As we just was speaking about social media, like that's a whole new thing. Like, I mean, it's been around, but like just the fact of all right, when you have a business now, whatever, it's like, okay, I can touch people from all over. I don't
Hmm.
necessarily don't have to drive my car state to state and put. You mean you can still put like I don't, if you want to put stickers of your business in certain areas and stuff, like I still see that working and stuff, but you don't have to. You don't really
Hmm.
have to do like most of the work like that.
Exactly. So I definitely see using the trends of social media to push it more, just for it to be able to get to other countries. Because eventually we're most likely going to be leaving United States one day and move outside of the country. That's our goal. Because definitely in a culture that's promoting more peace, I feel like the United States is not always. I don't want to get political, but
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. If you know,
definitely
you
want to be
know.
around a culture of peace. So that's our plan. And I think being able to use social media and how fast it can reach all these different countries and things, that's going to be a big win for my business.
Definitely. And like you said, if like you don't really have to break it down. Like a lot of us kind of with the propaganda and there, like it's a big show, literally. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like
Mm-hmm.
it's a show where you have to have your own mind though. Like
Yeah.
that's really what it comes down to. The strongest of everybody that's strong is just you real deal one of the ones if you can think for yourself. Because if you can't, like they literally running circles around you with
Exactly.
foods and the information they giving out. So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't want to go too left with it. But I have my own feelings because when I start talking like that and getting real deep and like get flagged quick, but I can
Well,
I
that's something we could talk about. Like, yeah, because I know not on this platform, but it needs to be said. We're similar in how we think. I know we are.
because I'm like I can literally see like so much violence in the click of a button, but it don't
Hmm.
make sense to me. Like yeah, that stuff don't get filtered, but yeah. So um. Any shout outs or recognition you would like to give to those who've been supporting you along your journey?
Yes, definitely my husband, Bernard Osborne, who is the one that pushed me to even open up the business. My mother, my sister, just my father, all of those that are in my corner, to wish me the best of success and saw the best in me at a young age when I didn't even see it in myself. Like I said, I'm not a social media person. I'm definitely extroverted like crazy, but I also can be antisocial depending on the energy of people. Um, So this is me stepping out of my comfort zone, and I never would have gotten here if I didn't have those that I mentioned backing me, my family. I wouldn't be here today.
Nah, I feel that. So but like it be like the growth too when I see like creating that space for people and like letting people just be themselves and be comfortable. Like I said, I don't the platform that put all the negativity out to have somebody really on edge, and then now you just got something that turned into an argument of like that's crazy. Like I see it
Mm-hmm.
so much. But I got some bonus questions, for you. So
Okay.
you can only choose one. What is the most significant barrier people face regarding mental health awareness?
Um, I definitely would say the negative, more negative messages being put out than positive, like you said about your platform. That I would say this negativity of everything. You turn on the TV, it's negative. You go on your phone, it's negative. So I think that's a big barrier because if it was more push, like, hey, get mental health, this is how you do it, then they would be well. So that's a big barrier, I would say. Just the lack of access to even being broadcast.
Yeah. And I feel even with the foods too, like in the sense, like I feel like they caught on though because they see it, so it's all right. The same way we tune into social media to these big companies and farmers, they look at it too. So all right, we're
Hmm.
gonna slap organic on everything and just say
Yeah, exactly. You're
like,
right.
but they're not gonna promote like you need to take herbs because it's gonna be money loss with that.
Yeah, you're
You know?
so right.
I
That's the
don't want to
thing.
go too far with it because that's another thing with that. But we just gonna stop right there because, like I said, I don't want none of the content no more to be. I don't want that to happen because that was like something we had to fight in the beginning because we was coming off strong with it. Like rather than like the guests didn't come until like maybe mid season one, but before that, we're all about dropping gems and giving awareness to people of what's going on instead of like, okay, just don't take the news for everything. Like take the news,
Hmm.
it's information there, but you got to do your own research and not
Hmm.
necessarily just Google. Like Google it's an automated response. They kind of it's like algorithm for it. So like if
Hmm.
something's promoted, like I always say, like if you Google something, don't look at the first page that pop up. That's like a sponsored thing. Like
Yes,
go like
exactly.
a couple pages into it to really see what's going on. Um, so what's one piece of advice you would give to someone just starting their mental health journey? Like,
I would say just just know that it's a lifelong process and don't ever stop. Don't ever stop. You'll never stop improving um because you want to maintain it. So just definitely don't stop. Just keep going. It's a journey and it's going to be a lifelong journey, but just hang in there.
yeah, I feel like that's like a everyday thing. Like you
Hmm.
wake up, you brush your teeth, and it's just one of them things. Uh, so if you could change one misconception about mental health, what would it be and why?
That is something to be ashamed of. Like you should be you're less than because it's just as if having a physical ailment. Like look at it like that. That's what I would change, just that people feel less than themselves because they have something different within their mental health that they need help with it. Don't feel less than. Know that you matter and know that that doesn't define you. Just as if you were to have something physically wrong, that's how it should be looked at. So that's a big stigma that somebody should be ashamed of that, and none of us should.
Yeah, I feel that, like you say, look at it as a physical ailment because
Mm-hmm.
just because you don't necessarily see it, don't mean your check engine like not on. Like,
Exactly.
yeah. So, yeah, that's really my last one for you, But last but not least, before we get you out of here, uh, when you hear the word underdog, what does it mean to you?
It means to me, something the world may view as not enough, but underdogs are the ones that are always going to rise above when people least expect it. So you may not have had the same opportunities or the money advantage, or a lot of things are more in your disadvantage, but you're still going to rise because people didn't see you coming. You're an underdog, but you're going to be the most powerful because of your journey.
No, most definitely. Like I said, It's been an honor to have Isabella Osborne, founder of Boundless Prosperity LLC. Like I mentioned, it's an infinite amount of support, from us. I always tell people it's like passengers at this point. So we just going along with the journey, and like I say, we want to see everybody win, and it's a like-minded, view on life with a lot of things. Like a lot of people that's tapped in with our platform and stuff is all like-minded. So that's uh, people just growing and just seeing where we started and where we're trying to end up. So like I say, big appreciation. Wish you much more success, and yeah, definitely look forward to what you got planned.
Thank you, and the same for you. And thank you for your amazing platform. It's definitely inspiring. And thank you for having me on the show today.
Definitely. This was season 6, episode 12, The Role of Nutrition and Mental Health, featuring founder of Boundless Prosperity LLC, Isabella Osborne. Appreciate you. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you.
Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up a mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen kinda granite. Lean color perk, you would think it's pomegranate. I see flying saucers finna roll another planet. It will fall in place if it's meant to be organic. I got crazy lingo, you would think I'm speaking Spanish. I'm something like a pie, never leave without the cannon. I'm enlightened, check, I got stone around my neck. If you pay attention, I teach her how to earn respect. I walk around with a tag like I'm mad at the rail. People do any damn thing for a check. So what if you got signed labels, throw them on the shelf? I don't ask for help, I just go within myself. Hard times I prevail, I bust up out my shell. I let my nuts hang, cause they don't got no curfew. Gold mouth, rabbit on my teeth, I got carrots. Open up a mouth and she got vocals sound like Janet. Marble on the floors, but the kitchen